Good morning. This is Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And the program repeats itself at 3 p.m. on Sunday afternoon in its entirety. And of course, many of you are watching us on local cable systems throughout Acadiana. Others are watching on the old-time
Aerial
or rabbit ears. And many of you today, of course, are watching it on the internet by whichever avenue you have. And my sidekick here, Andrew, good morning. Running a little bit later than normal, and I was much earlier than normal, and then got here later than normal. And, you know, I just misplaced my clicker to open and close my garage door. I looked in the motorcycle, I looked in the big truck. I mean, I just, I have to call the Mamu Hilton and see if maybe the cleaning people found it. Maybe I left it there this weekend.
Could be.
Spent the weekend. We'll talk about that and show a few pictures from that episode. But let's get a couple of good sponsors. We like to start off whenever possible.
How about the pig? We start right out the gate with Piggly Wiggly with 3 locations, 2 in Opelousas and 1 over in beautiful downtown Simsport. And the sales going on
the Chaffalaya River.
On the Chaffalaya, you can get some of that good, big old deep river yellow cat to cook. And while you go into the store and get all your vegetables and all your rice and all the things that go with it, they got whole fryers at 94 cents a pound. They've got quarter loin pork chops for $1.79 and boneless beef round steak $2.89 a pound. Go buy the pig knows best. And if you want to fry that fish, vegetable oil $6.99 a gallon, and that's Luana brand. So you can go and get some of that. And how about another sponsor? Let's go with Carl's over here in town, Carl's Thrifty Way. Carl's can help you with all your medicinal needs, over-the-counter type medicines, as well as your prescription medications.
And your compounding.
They'll take multiple prescriptions and make it easier for you to take by combining them in one nice, neat, easy to take pill. That way you don't have to have that big tackle box with all your stuff in it to figure out which one you're going to take.
Can you take different kinds and you mix?
Well, sure. That's the whole idea, is that way you don't have to take 2 or 3 or whatever.
It's kind of hard to take all those pills I have to take
one after another after another. They can do all that together for you, nice and easy.
I'll have to talk to Carl.
Carl will fix you up with that. And don't forget about them for gifts and home decorating ideas as well. And they've also got those Instamold right now, the customized ear molds that people use for shooting. They use for if you're maybe in the music business and you need that loud music all night, you got to have a little bit of protection for the ears. Maybe you're a swimmer. They'll actually get a mold from your ears and make it nice and tight and well fit at Carl's Thrifty Way in Opelousas.
How about that? That's good. And let's talk about some of the things that's happened big time. Of course, all the sports fans, UL baseball will be traveling over to the LSU stadium. And
all the way across the basin.
That's correct. Across the basin is exactly right. A lot shorter than when they played the bowl games in New Orleans, about half the distance.
I don't know when the plane will leave. I'm sure they could probably just take the bus at this point.
I'd imagine they may save money and go on the individual cars. No, they're gonna bring them all in one. But it should be some good games. LSU's hosting.
Right.
And really, I really felt bad about myself. I was mad at myself that I didn't go to the tournament that was held over, the SEC tournament that was held over in Alabama, probably about an 8-hour drive from Birmingham, about 7 or 8 hours.
They like to say Huntsville. They just say that so you don't realize it's at the home of the University of Alabama. They just use a different name, so everybody acts like it's a neutral site.
But they had a championship game, the Super Bowl, well, the College World Series won't present a better matchup than what you saw with the
number Sunday 1 and number 2 teams in the country.
That was Saturday or Sunday? Saturday.
I guess it was
Sunday.
Sunday
Probably
afternoon.
Sunday. Yeah, probably Sunday.
Number 1 Vanderbilt against number 2 LSU.
LSU, and the number 2 came out on top. Real good games, but the whole tournament was good. And I think David Link I commented to him, and he says, I think 9 out of the SEC teams are going to the super regional playoffs.
I think so. Yeah.
9.
That ties the record held by the SEC. And then we've got, is it 4 regionals are hosted by SEC teams? Is that what it is, 4 or 2?
I don't know.
But it's a bunch. The strongest the strongest conferences here, the most highly attended is here, the top 5 schools for attendance, all in the SEC.
And the top, of course, is LSU by a couple of thousands. As Clay Bertrand would say, a couple of thousands.
Over 10,000 a game, which they tell me that's more than the Astros get most nights.
Okay. And we like to every now and then mention some of our own companies that we'd hope you'd consider doing business with. And Sunrise Fast Cash, and if you heard me, it's fast cash, meaning that they will attempt to give you a good result on your credit score just as quick as they possibly can, and hopefully you walk out of the office with a check in your hand. And it's fast, it's confidential, and it's for personal loans, in the range of $100 to $500, $600, $700, smaller range. Some people call them startup loans. I call them if you're in a hurry and you want to fast and you need maybe $300 to $500 over the weekend or something like that. Sunrise Fast Cash. We are Opelousas, Scott, and in Crowley. And the Century 21, we mustn't forget Raymond Aguilar has the Century 21. He's the broker agent for Century 21 here in Opelousas, right across from the Palace Cafe. A real seasoned group of agents that work hard, ladies and the men, work real hard to show your property as often as they can. And of course, they like to work with you when you're listing, because you can't sell if you don't have some listings. I mean, the agents do work with others, and they all work with each other, other companies. But it's nice when you have a lot of listings, and we have a lot right now, and we want to thank everybody for that. And of course, they're also right on the main drag, Highway 190, on the right when you're heading west through Eunice. We have a Century 21 office there.
Sure.
And so we want to thank all of you for your continued support. And of course, over in Ville Platte, we now have Phil Lemoyne, who retired from the insurance agency business and doing a great job. Thank you, Phil, for associating with Century 21 here in Opelousas and Eunice, and of course, nationwide, Century 21.
You got it. This weekend, Saturday night, 7 p.m. at the Delta Grand is going to be Pickin' and Grinnin'. It's going to be music and Cajun comedy starring Stephen Matthew Perry, who's a nice, very good local musician, and Cajun comedy favorite Jonathan Perry. And it's wholesome family entertainment. You can bring the kids and everything, have a good time. They sell out all over the country. Tickets are $10 in advance, $15 at the door. Call 407-1806. And don't forget, the Delta Grand is giving the classes again for kids. If your child's from age 10 and up, it's $100 for your child for the week. They go from 9 in the morning to 4 p.m. And it's a camp from June 3rd through June 31st, 407-1806. And it's a real good camp to learn how to act.
On Saturday, this Saturday, which is June the 1st, two big things are happening that I want to mention. And of course, one of them is the huge annual gathering of the Slimco customers. Slimco, it's a non-profit organization. And everybody's a member of the Slimco. And they're going to have, you can get to meet Troy Landry in person, the Swamp Man, and also listen to the beautiful music of Gino Delafosse. And you can dance your shoes till they you wear them out. And that's going to be June 1st, the 76th annual meeting.
They open early in the morning. You start with coffee and go all day long.
It's not your typical Saturday morning,
That's right.
You bet. And we want to thank the folks over there. They do a great job, and all the employees are very cordial. And I don't know how they always have somebody seems to be around the corner when the lights go out, the electricity goes out. You ever notice how quick somebody's working on it? And those people at home, they must sleep with their shoes and boots on.
And I had a problem with where it wasn't them, it was the cable company had a line down in the neighborhood, and I wasn't sure who to call, so I called, I tried calling the cable company, didn't get the right the extension or whatever, and I called up the power company. They had a truck in the neighborhood. They came by, they put it out of the way, and they let the cable company know. So good for
Saturday,
the community.
the other big thing happening on June 1st, of course, over in Lake Charles, is a gathering. It's not a complete reunion like we normally have. This is a gathering. They had one, I guess it was last year. It worked out real well. And this one's going to be held in Lake Charles, starting at 9:30. It's a Dutch treat lunch. It's going to be at the Seafood Palace, and that's at 2218 Enterprise Boulevard in Lake Charles, Louisiana. So if you're a boxer, you were a manager, you were a fan of boxing, and you want to go and see some of the old timers, it would be a good time. And I'll be there, and hopefully remember to bring my camera. Oh, I always have my cell phone with me.
Yeah. You can handle
and we'll just be taking a few pictures for next week's program.
And CASA, the court-appointed special advocates that help kids out here in the parish, is having their annual fundraiser. It's going to be Thursday. It's a brunch Thursday, June 13th at Dobbleson Civic Center at 11 o'clock in the morning, $25 a ticket. If you want to be a business sponsor, they're looking for business sponsorship as well. Call 948-3550. You counting? What you counting?
I think it's going to be June the 6th. That should be about next Thursday. Les Banana, a well-known boxing promoter from way back yonder. He has been interested in boxing and promoting boxing and putting on fights themselves. He's putting on a big fight at the Landmark Hotel. When you're riding in east on I-10, on the left is it's a round building.
On your left as you coming in?
On the left when you in Metairie. And I was there probably either the first or second week after they opened, way back yonder. We had some good times there. They had a bar there that just, it was open around the clock back in those days.
There have been plenty of folks that went there that thought the building turned around and around at the end of the night.
Well, that was late at night. You felt that way. But they have a nice hotel ballroom, and we encourage you if you anywhere in that area. I know I'm meeting up with Noel Bunol will be there with a couple of his friends, and we'll be all sitting together and hopefully enjoying some good fights. And we have some other fights coming up in June. We'll keep you posted as time goes. And of course, Bad Chad is working on some more promotions right now, both at Sharrington and here at Evangeline Downs Event Center. I'm
going to sneak another sponsor in. Quarters Casino right here just north of Opelousas. Go by the Quarters at Exit 23. If you go by, they've got good crispy crunchy chicken inside, Subway sandwiches, good Stuckies, old-time candies for you to try out, full-blown convenience store with all your drinks and ice and all that you need. On the other side is El Pico de Gallo, a good Mexican cantina and restaurant with authentic Mexican cuisine. They've got the, you can try your luck in the Quarters Casino side, where you can see whether or not you're going to win a little bit. Maybe you make some money to pay for that gasoline that you get there, that good Chevron fuel, where they've got diesel, they've got gasoline, well lit, well covered, good concrete, keep your feet dry. Go by the Quarters Casino.
We don't have quite enough time to talk about the sheriff's ideas on seat belts and car seats are not optional. We'll talk about that in a little while. And how
about one more? We got the Eunice OPAC. You know, I'm talking about different branches.
Right.
Eunice OPAC, which we're going to show in a few minutes. They're going to have their Customer Appreciation Day on June the 3rd with donuts and gifts. You want to come by that morning on June the 3rd. That's Monday.
I stopped by and I took some pictures of the front door and the signage.
And I got it, but I guess we may have to show that right after the break.
That was early on.
But we'll see you folks on the other side of 1 minute.